Welcome to the exciting world of the movies.
Alright, Boo and Goat Watch Stuff, Valentine's Day 2021. We are here to break it down. No, we're not recycling an old episode. It's actually real. It's actually 2024.
Oh, I didn't even notice.
I know, like that was the whole point. You're supposed to bust me and be like, what?
I was too busy making lovey-dovey sounds.
I know, you're too busy saving up your pranks over there. But, yeah, we're here. I don't even think we really ever, like, acknowledge it that much. But, like, yeah, Valentine's Day. I think there may have been a couple years we missed out. But I think going all the way back to My Demon Lover was when we...
that was the very first one?
Yeah, the first Valentine's Day episode.
Yeah, I can't remember...
Like last year we did Date with an Angel, which is one of your favorite movies now.
Oh, God.
I
don't know. It might be after this one.
Yeah, we watched like it 5 times this year, I think.
You make me watch these movies that test my patience with females when it comes to Valentine's Day.
Well, you gotta understand, like, the point of this podcast is talk about old movies, and I mean, you're spoiled by the Hallmark romance genre now.
No, some of those females on there too get kind of annoying.
You don't know what it was like for these boys in the 80s to be obsessed with a girl because she had giant knockers, but then she had a super annoying personality.
Oh my God.
But yeah, so we're rolling. We're going to get right into it because this movie gets me so hot and bothered. I got to get it done quick.
I'm sure it does.
Yeah, I can't last the whole time.
Oh my God.
But yeah, we're rolling off the Blu-ray here. This was originally a Orion Pictures release, so we got it paused on the Blu-ray. It is on, which I should say I have the original Blu-ray. I think it might have got re-released by another company, but the one I got, it's a 24-second mark, and it says an Orion Pictures release, and it has that beautiful classic outer space Orion Pictures logo. So I want to say 1, 2, 3, go. When you hear me say go, you know what to do. Hit play. All right, everybody. 1, 2, 3, go. So yeah, like this was like literally in my mind as a kid, and I don't know like really how long after, probably pretty quick after it came out. I caught this on cable, and it was just one of those movies that was on cable a lot, like all teen whatever films were. I love this font with the purple, the red, and the teal logo for the movie.
Super 80s.
Yeah.
Actually, it's super 90s, honestly.
It is. This movie came out in 85, but it really like has like more of an early 90s logo to it. But yeah, like I know I say this on a lot of things, but I miss when like there was actually like a design team behind every movie. Every movie had to have a font, a color scheme, a poster, like thing, you know what I mean? Like a branding almost, you know?
Yeah. I mean, that's the point of it, is that the movie is what it is. Like, that's the style of it.
Yeah. And, like, they were all just, like, young actors, you know, getting their career started at the time. But, like, this really has the 80s dream team cast because you got our boy C. Thomas Howell, who he kind of got forgotten along the shuffle by the late 80s. But the early 80s, man, this guy was on a whole nother level that really nobody else could touch. Like, in a very short time, he went from having a supporting role in E.T., like a small supporting role in E.T., yeah, which was like 82, 83. He bust out with a supporting role, but still like a very memorable role in Red Dawn. He's the one that gets all hard after they kill his parents and shit. And then yeah, also 83, he was Pony Boy in The Outsiders. From that point on, he was pretty much his leading man. He had a good run with this movie, Secret Admirer, The Hitcher after this, which was a big thing, and just like yeah, like the dude was untouchable. And I mean, it's not like a case of like, oh, what happened to him? Like, I think probably the only thing that I could say that was like a misfire was in the late 80s. Probably work was drying up already, but he did that movie Soul Man, and even back then people got upset about it. It was about a guy who couldn't pay for college, so he had to get a scholarship by pretending to be black. Oh. So he painted... I mean, I guess it was blackface, but it was more brownface. And it was weird, though. Like,
that's interesting.
I remember, like, that movie came out, and I'm sure there probably was people pissed at the time, but, like, it wasn't, like, a big roar. It was more, like, 5 years after the movie came out. Like, people were just like...
That's funny.
Yeah.
He was the star of that?
Yeah, he
was the one that painted himself?
Painted himself, wow. And I think kind of what made it worse was he wore a Jerry curl wig.
That's probably why he disappeared.
Yeah.
He got shut out.
I think... And also too, like what's weird was when this is just my memory of it. Other people may remember it different. You gotta imagine this was way before the internet, but from what I remember, it was just like such a it was viewed as such a low level garbage movie. Not like, oh, it's so offensive because it's racist. It was more like it was just more like, what is this stupid fucking movie about a guy painting himself to go to school? Like, it was just like, like Weekend at Bernie's was kind of seen in the same similar vein. Like, what is this dumb shit? They're carrying a corpse around.
Oh god, that part always like every time I see it looks like he's gonna fall on his face.
Yeah, so it starts out, and this is a great way to start out a high school movie. Is it's the last day of school, and he's cleaning out his locker. There was a love letter written to him over the opening credits. It got thrown in his he had the messiest ass locker. He just had bundles of paper, but somehow he picked that letter out and he put it in a magazine. That's all he kept out of his school locker.
He was Tom Cruise running in movies before Tom Cruise was running.
Yeah, I read some
I was just looking at that.
Yeah, I mean, he's super young when he made this, so he's very athletic, of course. And here we meet the female leads, Kelly Preston and Lori Loughlin. Again, young stars on the rise in their career. Kelly Preston, this was like the year to lust after Kelly Preston, I guess, because she was also in that movie Mischief, which is about the boys in the 1950s all wanted to have sex with her.
Well, I will say, like, when the second she came on the screen, that was like the first thing I was like, jeez.
Yeah, with the tight purple dress.
Yeah, because it was like just showing, like, so obvious.
Yeah, and here they are in front of Burbank High School, home of the Bulldogs, which I used to drive past all the time. We drove past it a couple months ago. And like I went by there a bunch of times, and then I rewatched this movie. I was like, damn, like that's right where I used to always drive by to go to work. But yeah,
I love her hair. I always love that hair.
Lori Loughlin. That's another thing too. Is like now we got to kind of go into
there's no captions on this.
There is no captions, unfortunately, on this Blu-ray. But like I should have checked for streaming to see if anybody had it, but I bet probably nobody does because nobody has MGM movies or Orion movies.
I never even heard of this.
You never heard of Secret Admirer?
No.
I mean, to be fair, you were like 3 years old when it came out.
But I mean, oh god, this guy.
Yeah, so this is when we get introduced to the crew here, and any 80s sex teen rom has to have a crew of guys, and there's like a huge bunch of guys here, but the main ones are this guy played by Casey Shamasco, who everybody will know from Young Guns and one of the bullies in Back to the Future, and also our boy Courtney Gaines, the red-headed wonder who played Malachi in Children of the Corn. Now, Courtney Gaines was kind of your favorite member of the crew. Every time he appeared on screen, you kept commenting, like, what was that about?
Is that the red-headed guy?
Yeah.
He's just hard to look at. Like, yikes.
Yeah.
He's got a very interesting look.
Yeah. He's a guy that kind of comes in and out of acting. He kind of had a resurgence in the early 2000s. Like he started appearing in horror movies again, which everybody loves Malachi.
He's got the face for it.
Yeah, he was also in another great sex comedy I gotta force you to watch sometime called Hard Bodies. Or
they play that on TV a lot.
Hard Bodies, yeah, I'm really surprised they play it a lot because it's like super teen titty flick. And it's about these old guys who go to the beach and they pay a young guy to help them have sex with young girls. I mean, not young girls, but, I guess college-age women. I don't know.
I liked how, during this scene, there were, 50 guys that were coming up into this room here.
Yeah.
It was, never ending that they were coming up.
Yeah, and, that's the thing is, every high school movie at the time, like I said, they had a crew. But, this one is this goes above me because they actually have a clubhouse up in C. Thomas Howe's garage. There's actually a crawl space. They got moose heads. They got porno mags. They got old granny panties.
I just saw that.
Yeah, they got the granny panties hanging from the fucking rafters and shit. And so it's and basically this is where we finally get into the what do you call it? The main crux of the plot here is C. Thomas Howell. He doesn't even realize at this point that he's got a love letter. It just falls out of his porno mag that he was saving. Yeah,
we see it getting written at the beginning of the movie, and it's basically the beginning of all hijinks that proceed for the rest of the movie.
Yeah,
causes so much trouble.
And like I knew this other guy, the guy with the hat that was like reading the magazine. I knew he looked super familiar, and he has a huge list of credits. His name is, let me see,
The sophisticated guy.
Yeah, the guy who's always dressed like super wacky,
Yeah.
Jeffrey Blake. And I knew he looked real familiar. He was also in Young Guns with Casey Szymanski. So what happened to C. Thomas Howell? He should have been in Young Guns as well. Because
I don't think he dresses wacky. I think he dresses very classy.
well, everybody else is wearing T-shirts and shit. He's always got these like super '80s fashion.
He's trying to be
on.
classy.
Yeah.
Sophisticated.
For some reason, I thought he played the TV version of Ferris Bueller, but it's not true. But he looks like the guy who did. I can't remember the name of the guy who did, but he looks like that guy.
So, if like in a group of guy friends or whatever, like obviously you can tell they're all close.
Yeah.
Is this how a group of guys would really react to one of the guys getting a little secret love letter?
No. Like,
because they were all very interested and like, oh, like sympathetic for it.
they were like very girly, like we're and like also what's weird though is like they were very like when they read the letter out loud and it's talking about how I secretly love you and all this shit that this girl wrote to him. They were just basically sitting there the whole time going ew, ew, like, and then like for some reason they automatically jump to the conclusion that the hottest girl in school, Kelly Preston, wrote this letter, and it makes like zero sense because up to this point, like she really like the way they played it off when C. Thomas Howell went up to talk,
picking his nose on camera.
Yeah, he's just picking his nose. C. Thomas Howell, leading man. See, that's what I'm saying. That's what you got to go back to '80s to see real cinema to see fuckers picking their nose, and like it is like they probably did 30 takes of that, and you probably had to get every single booger out.
Oh my god!
But yeah, like there's just like this girl, like she's like the hottest girl in school. They talk about how she dates college guys and shit, and it's like, why would she like, even though this guy exists, like he's not like a super nerd or anything. He's just not like a popular guy in school or anything like that. So yeah, so like the crew devises a plan. See, this is weird. I thought that guy was wearing a skirt, like the way that shot was. There's a guy walking with a girl across the street, and the girl has a skirt on, but they both got black pants or black whatever on, and it just looks like the guy's wearing a skirt. It's like an optical illusion. So the crew figures out we got to go to a fraternity party where there's going to be hijinks, and
because they know that girl's gonna be there.
Yeah, Kelly Preston is going to be there with her big jock college guy, which like again like the premise is flawed, and like at first when we were watching this, because I didn't remember this plot detail that well. And I'm like, is his buddies just kind of fucking with him? Because it's like why would you be like, oh yeah, like she wants you so bad, but we got to go like,
damn,
yeah, we got to
getting all up in there.
I know, our boy John Turlerski, a super 80s presence who never hit it big, but he was a great B movie actor. Plays Jocko. Literally, his name is Jocko, the fraternity college jock. But yeah, it's like she's so in love with you, but even though she has a big jock boyfriend who's like 5 years older than you, like so you got to go to this party and steal her away to confront
look
her.
at his face. Like,
Courtney Gaines, man.
yeah.
He plays a big stoner in Hard Bodies, and I feel like he's doing that here. Like he looks so fucked up in this shot.
He does.
But nobody else does. That's the thing that's weird. It's like
it was strange that he was looking towards the camera like that.
Yeah, and like this is the 80s too, so you think like they would have took full damn, look at those oil cans they're drinking out of. Like I didn't realize beer cans like that still exist. I guess that was like a 40 ounce or a 2.4 back then. But yeah. Jeffrey Blake back there, he's making martinis and they're literally chugging 24 ounces of Schlitz. Yeah.
Yeah, I was impressed by that Barks ad. I didn't realize Barks was that old.
Yeah, Barks is super old. Like There's another guy here. Oh no, yeah, that's Turleski.
There's that super tall guy.
Yeah, there's like Rick Smits. It looks like Rick Smits who used to play for the Pacers. Some giant 7 foot tall motherfucker.
It's so funny. She looks so old in this scene. Like she looked normal in the other one. Now she looks like she's a 40-year-old lady.
Well, because she's smoking. She's got like a cocktail dress on, whereas before she just had her hair down. She looked like a young girl.
Well, the dress is fine. It's just really her hairdo.
Yeah, it made her look matronly a little bit. But yeah,
they're trying to help him get her.
Yeah.
That guy's kind of harsh looking too.
The jock boyfriend?
Yeah.
Yeah, what was his name?
I think it's just that eyebrow.
Yeah, I got confused. John Treleski was the other frat guy, Rick, outside. This guy, let's see. Who played Jocko? Usually I don't like to do this, but there's some good trivia for this movie.
I feel like this girl, they just showed her. Like, the girl that they just showed, I feel like I've seen her and stuff before.
Yeah.
She was just like a extra person at the party.
Yeah, there's also that one guy, I can't remember his name, not Doug Stanhope, but the other Doug, the guy who always gets high. He was in here as an extra. Like, he was an extra before his stand-up comedy career came off. He was, like, an extra in a lot of movies. Like, he was in Return of the Living Dead Part 2 as an extra.
Oh, my gosh. He's trying to get up on her so hard.
Yeah, like, he confronts her to be like, oh, I know you wrote the letter and all this shit. And she's like, what are you talking about? And
he's, like, quoting the letter to her.
Yeah, but he's kind of, like, climbing all over her at the same time. It's, like, really weird.
They have to convince the boy. Or they were trying to convince him that his car was getting... He's all touching her and stuff. Ooh.
Yeah.
Dang. You would think by now she would know what you're talking about, dude.
Yeah, like, he's read the whole letter, like, verbatim to her, and she's like, what the fuck are you talking about? And he's still convinced, like, oh, it's her, oh. It's like... And then, of course, he's about to get his ass beat, and then finally Lori Loughlin comes and saves him and pretends like they got something, romantic going on, which they don't, but...
Did Kelly Preston ever play, like, the good girl in any of the movies back then?
No, she was always, like, the hot piece of ass that, like, everybody, once they banged her, they were disappointed. I don't know, do you remember that movie Mischief? I had you watch it with me one night on cable.
Really?
Where it was, like, it was, like, in the 50s, and, like, this little blonde guy was, like, a nerd, and, like, he just wanted to, like, get laid and bang Kelly Preston so bad, and then his buddy was, like, a cool guy with a motorcycle, and that other guy was with Catherine Stewart from Night of the Comet, and then, like, basically, like, him and her ran away, and then, like, the movie ended, the little nerd banged Kelly Preston, and then, like, he was, like, I don't know, like, he just really wasn't in it. He was, like, so in love with her until he, like, banged her, and then, yeah.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah. So the guy that plays the jock boyfriend in this movie, that's why I was so confused. His name is Scott McGinnis. But, yeah, he's, like, a total greaseball in this movie. Like, literally every inch of his hair is covered in grease. I think that
and
was...
And then when they go to his place later, it's, like, so gross.
It's so fucking scuzzy. So this is great. Like, so he realizes that C. Thomas Howell is there hitting on his hot high school girlfriend, Kelly Preston. So, like, he's about to smash his face in. So, like, the crew can't just bow out gracefully. They got to insult the entire frat. And they think they're going to speed off in their van, their cool van. But, they don't realize the street is a dead end. So there's, like, a construction thing going on with a pile of dirt. So they try to jump in and jump over this, like, iron gate fence. But they just totally crash it and total this van.
Oh, my God.
And then, like, the guys just have to run away because, like, literally these 50 frat guys are going to come
It gets
kick
stuck
their ass.
on the fence.
Yeah, it gets impaled on the fence. Like, it looks like a wreck that would, like, kill some people. But I was kind of conflicted because I couldn't really get down with the crew on this one, like, because they try to make it seem like the frat guys are, like, the assholes, but they're the ones who, like, came to their party and insulted them. Like, it wasn't like the guys were mad that they just showed up.
They went and tried to steal one of the guy's girlfriend.
And then insulted them to their faces, so of course they're all going to, like, want to beat your ass. Like, you can't really...
I just figured out who that sophisticated guy reminds me of.
Who's that?
Kendall from Big Time Rush.
He does. He does look like Kendall from Big Time Rush. Damn, everybody's jumping fences here.
I can't believe that guy. So look at his legs. They're so long.
I know. He's. I don't want to say he's 7 foot, but he's probably like 6'8", something like that.
Tall.
Yeah.
And super skinny, so he looks funny.
Yeah. He had to be a basketball player. But yeah, this is So this is, like, the premise that C. Thomas Howell is, like, going to, And also, too, I sort of got it. It looked like Lori Loughlin, it looks like that top she was wearing in Rad. Like, she had this, like, some white sparkly top. That's why I was like, is that the same shirt? Or is there just a similar thing?
That's funny.
So he goes to her house late at night to pick her up to just hang out and be friends. And it's like, I gotta ask you, because I didn't tell you anything about this this movie, right?
Like before we watched it?
Yeah.
No.
So, like, the opening credits start, right? You see the letter get written. You see it gets sent to him. You know, he thinks it's Kelly Preston just because his buddies put the idea in his head. Like, this part of the movie where, like, it didn't work out. And now he's just, like, hanging with his good buddy, Lori Loughlin. At this point when we got to this point, I don't know what we're in, 15, 20 minutes in. Just this early point of the movie, had you figured out yet who wrote the letter?
Yeah, because it looked like her. Like when she put it in.
Like there was no mystery to it?
No.
Do you think they were supposed to be a mystery?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's hard to say.
Because it goes really deep into the movie until, like, you know. I mean,
like, they really don't, like, the whole time, the way she's acting is so, like, that's what frustrated me about this movie. It was like she never gave anything away that it was her for obvious reasons. She was supposed to be secret.
yeah.
But then, like, she would get mad at him for things, and it was just like, well, you're not telling him how you feel, so it's like, what do you expect? Like, it was like, it was just that kind of thing. And then she even starts helping him find, you know, to, like, get with other girls, and I'm kind of like, what are you doing? Like, it just was like, I don't know. That's what frustrated me about it. And then this part too here, like when they're laying there.
Yeah, they go
the way he's being with her. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Like
they go to Makeout Lane just to talk, and like they're like watching everybody have sex in the cars, but they're just like talking, being buddies. And like
this part right here.
Yeah, where like it looks like he should like kiss her.
I'm just like, what are you doing, dude? Like, what are you feeling right there? Like, I don't get it.
Yeah, like it looks like they're.
And then over. Okay.
Then they just walk home
and they're just friends. It's just like, okay.
Yeah. I think if you would like what do you call it? If you would have to remake this movie now for modern slutty sensibilities, like they would be having sex in the beginning and it would just be like bros, and then like, you know, eventually he'd realize, oh, like maybe I should actually be in love with the girl I'm having sex with, because like this shit here now, like I know exactly what you mean is like. And I don't really know, like, I know, I've never had this experience in my life, but, like, people claim, like... Like, oh, he's in love with your best friend or whatever. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, it's like, well, he's got a whole crew of guys. Like, why is he just hanging out with this chick that's, like, very good-looking, by the way? Lori Loughlin's... I mean, and that was the thing that's weird, too, about this movie. And, like, I guess you're just supposed to assume when she stands next to Kelly Preston, all you would see is a boy.
She's like a woofer.
Yeah, but in every other movie, like literally at this time,
Jesus, so
like
bright all of a sudden.
Yeah, the white piece of paper. He's trying to write his letter now. Now he wants to write a letter back to Kelly Preston, but he's a dummy. So
which I swear it's the same handwriting as
it does
as the letter at the beginning of the movie. But that was a female handwriting it because I looked at the hand this time.
Yeah, but yeah, like Lori Loughlin like always played like the hot girl in the movie, because like before this, like when she was in the New Kids, like James Spader wanted to rape her really bad. Yeah, he did. He was like always leering around, like threatening to have sex with her and shit. Sheesh. And then also in Rad, of course, they're like, oh, like she's so hot. Like, and the guy, you know, rides the bike and everything to win her over. But in this one, it's just like, man, she just, you know, she's like a dude. Now here we have Corey Haim, and there's a bit of trivia about this. Was during the opening credits they misspelled Corey's first name.
Oh really? I didn't see. Yeah. I didn't even see his name on there.
I know. Yeah, I didn't either.
Yeah, because like when we were watching it, you were surprised like that.
I totally forgot Corey Haim played the little brother in this movie, and when he came in, I was like, "Is that Corey Haim?" But it looked like a little girl. Like he's super young. Like if you thought he looked young in Lost Boys, he's like super young. Like.
I was like, why did he take the last of the coins?
Yeah. He got caught up reading the letter.
The love letter. Oh, yeah. Gosh, here comes the trouble.
Well, it's kind of weird, too, because, like, this movie's all about writing these love letters. He got one.
Here's the old school Fruit Loops.
Yeah, the Fruit Loops that aren't radio dyed. They don't even have blue in them, either. Did you notice that? They don't have the blue fruit. So
Or purple.
Yeah. Well,
I guess it's kind of purple. It's like red.
This movie has a lot of running gags, and one is that everybody makes cereal with, instead of milk, they put Bosco in it, which if people I have no idea if Bosco is still around. I haven't seen it in a store in forever. but it's like just basically a different brand of like Hershey's chocolate syrup. That's all it is.
Mm-hmm.
And so everybody just pours it into
chocolate flavored.
Yeah, everybody just puts it into cereal instead of milk. It's weird in this movie, and it's not really like that watery. It's just,
but
like,
it's not normal. It's not something that's normal because like, everybody's like, oh, when they're.
But it's like somehow like they would just kind of do this in movies back then. Like there'd be like cool hip trends that only kids knew about or whatever. Because like the mom, Dee Wallace Stone, who also was in E.T. with C. Thomas Howell, she tries it here after Corey Haim leaves.
Ew.
She's like, ugh. But then she's kind of like, it's not bad.
She starts eating it.
Now, did you notice back there they had like little wooden cutouts of Amish people on their wall?
No.
Yeah, the decorations for the kitchen.
Real chocolate flavored syrup.
Yeah, it looked like that. You could see it good in that one shot. It looked like diarrhea in the.
Jeez.
So basically, like,
oh my god,
like we gotta, for people who haven't seen this movie or haven't seen it in a long time, we gotta explain the hijinks going on. God. He got a letter. He wants to write a secret admirer letter back to Kelly Preston, which is kind of stupid because like he went and hit on her at the party. She's gonna know who it is. So he writes a terrible love letter to her. Corey Haim steals it for some reason, and then like he's reading it or something at the table, and like he leaves it there, and like the mom picks it up, and it was in a school book that the dad had because the dad's taking night classes. So now she thinks it's a letter that some slutty woman wrote to her husband.
Was it in the book when she found it, or was it just sitting there?
I think it was just sitting there,
yeah,
but I don't know. But it was with the book.
And then she hid it in there.
But it doesn't, like, you wouldn't think, like, your 9-year-old son would be in possession of a letter like that. So I totally kind of get why she got confused like that.
Yeah.
So she automatically thinks he's having an affair, or at least has a secret admirer of his own.
Yeah. And then him, too. Like, he's not exactly, like, the best-looking guy.
Yeah, our boy Cliff DeYoung. He's always playing comedic character parts back in the 80s. Yeah, he's like really.
Look at this stud.
I was gonna say like these movies, whatever. I mean, I was always a big C. Thomas Howell fan as a kid because he was in a lot of movies I liked, like E.T. and
I
Red
only
Dawn.
knew him from The Outsiders.
The Outsiders.
I never knew him from anything else.
Yeah, he was still kind of like little boyish looking in The Outsiders, though.
Yeah,
like he was finally like full man in this one. He was probably like 15 or 16 when he filmed that.
This is funny.
Yeah. Because
she's upset about the letter, but she tells the son that she's upset because the mailman is late.
Yeah.
So he yells at the...
Yeah, he's like, my mother's crying in there because you delivered the mail late, bastard.
That's funny. He's like, huh?
But there definitely is a lot of kind of beefcake shots of C. Thomas Howell with his open shirts and all this shit. Like, how did you react? Did you think he had what it takes to play this kind of hunky teen boy in this one?
There's something about him that, like, he's like a little, skinny guy, but, like, I don't know. There's something about the way he carries himself that he's still kind of, like, got this, like, masculine thing to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, there would be times throughout the movie I was like, oh, like, I wouldn't say he's hot, but, like, there's something attractive about him, like, that I could see, like, him being the hot guy, where, like, the hot, like, not hot lead, but just, like, the lead man kind of thing, yeah.
Yeah, I was reading on the trivia, I don't even know why anybody figured this out and put it in the trivia, but yeah, it was saying Kelly Preston was 4 years older than him, and that Laurie, I think, was 2 years older than him when they filmed this.
Wow.
Which is weird, because Laurie looks super young in this.
This lady sitting next to him cracks me up.
Yeah, talk a little bit about the class that the dad's in, like the actual classmates. Like,
I just thought it was, like, interesting, like, they actually had a diverse, and it wasn't even anything where I was, like, purposely looking for it. I just noticed it, because I don't really, you don't really see things like that now.
Yeah.
But, like, yeah, like how they have, like, the heavyset women and, like, I don't know, like, it just...
all the guys were weird. Like, that one guy looks like a weird Ron Jeremy back there.
Yeah, like, I just thought...
Other guy looks like Horseshack from Welcome Back, Kotter.
This lady here, she looks like, funny, like, kind of like a granny or something, and, like...
Yeah.
I don't know, like, I noticed that there was such, like, a variety of different-looking people.
Yeah. So, like, this movie has a lot of layers, and characters have secret backstories that you don't know about at first.
Here's the Pepsi-Cola cup.
Yeah. Yeah, somebody wrote in the trivia they think that Pepsi Cola had a sponsorship in this movie. I was like, you think so? Like every 2 seconds somebody's drinking a Pepsi. But yeah, the dad, like the teacher of the class, this lady borrowed his book for a second and gave it back, and then he found the letter, so he thinks the lady just slipped the letter, and so he thinks the teacher wrote him a letter. So it's just setting the
It's
seeds.
just getting passed around more and more and causing more and more trouble.
Exactly. I really like this like smoky pool hall pizza place that these kids hang out in.
And this part was weird, like how he got so weird and like
Nervous because he
yeah.
wrote his love letter and he's asking Lori Loughlin to give it to Kelly Preston for him.
But it's not like she was there or anything. It's not like she was gonna give it to her right then and there. Like he was so indecisive about what he wanted to eat.
He gets so nervous that he basically orders everything on the menu, and then like they don't show him eating it, but it's portrayed like he ate it all. Look at that girl in the background with her whatever jacket or whatever shirt cut off her shoulder. That was a cool look back then for girls.
I was gonna say, like, I was noticing in the background too, like it was actually really like common for girls to have long, like really long hair.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's like that one, not with the green shirt, but the other one. But like, I don't know. I feel like you don't really see that often now. It seems like most females, whether they're background characters or lead characters or whatever, it seems like they all have pretty much short hair now.
Yeah, they do.
Because, like, I'm, always trying to get my hair as long as possible. So it's like I notice, like, when other people have long, like, other girls have long hair.
Yeah.
So it's, like, noticeable to me. But, yeah, like, I just realized that. Like, I can't think of a movie that, like, a newer movie that we've watched recently where I'm like, oh, they have long hair.
Because now everybody wants to cut hair short and then clip in some extensions when you need it to be long. So, like, I think back then women were, like, obsessed with really growing their hair for years and years.
Yeah. There was value in hair.
Yeah. So now the dad, Cliff DeYoung, his accounting class is getting over, and he's going to confront the teacher.
Did he find it?
Yeah, he found it. He was reading it during the class.
Oh.
Like right when she gave it back.
Gosh, look at it. Now he's being a creep.
Now he's getting horny. He's like, God. And like they're talking a very vague kind of code.
Yeah.
Here of like, and like the teacher thinks like
he's using general terms
about going for
that
it.
Could
and all
be
shit.
like about anything, and the teacher just totally doesn't get what he's talking about.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden he's going to get a chub here and give her a kiss.
Jeez.
I thought she was like dressed pretty sexy for a teacher. Like I gotta admit, like
really?
Like this outfit, like
she's completely covered.
She's like a thin woman. Yeah, but like you can totally see her boobs. Like it looks like she's not wearing a bra. Like
yeah.
Like it's very tight dress for what it is. Like it's like weird and baggy in some places. And
I mean, she doesn't look like she's wearing one, but I don't know. I guess I've just gotten used to that kind of thing in these movies.
Yeah. It's funny that he like went to class in like a business suit. I thought that was funny.
Well, it just seems like he goes after work.
Yeah, I can see that for sure.
This scene kind of weirded me out. I don't know if they really were standing like that, but like the way it's filmed, it looks like they're standing so close to each other.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're just cheating it for the frame a little bit, but they are like they're pretty much in kissing.
Man, look at those chompers.
I know, like what was with the chompers back then? Was it just like the movie lighting? But I noticed a lot of people's teeth, like they showed up like steely gray. Green like on film,
and it looks like there's some weird like lining on the around his teeth, like some dark lining.
But yeah, there it is. But her teeth aren't like that. I mean, they're not like pearly white. Like people, I don't think whitening shit really existed for teeth back then. But but it's like it's just weird how some people's teeth are like that and some weren't back then.
Oh my gosh, she's so confused.
Yeah, she's like, because like. So this is like the backstory, which like they unravel later, but like they've known each other since high school, but you just don't know that at this point.
It seems like a town where like everybody just stays there, like they all knew each other since they were like young.
Which I have to say because we know, because I know where it's filmed and stuff. But it's pretty obvious, too, when they get on the freeway later, the highway later. Like, it's obvious it's Los Angeles.
They're in Southern California.
Yeah, but that was weird about the California movies back then. A lot of them, like, they would be set in, like, L.A., but they would portray it like they were almost like it felt like a small town feel.
Small town.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think with these movies, they do that to kind of try and portray like small town suburban life.
Like, so it's more relatable to people across the USA.
I mean, I don't know about that. I don't know how common it would be to live in a suburb.
Yeah.
At that time.
I mean, they pretty
much... Maybe
it
was at that time, I guess.
I mean, they pretty much live in Burbank. I mean, or like that area.
But I mean, if you're not from there, you don't know that. You
Yeah.
know? Like, because, I mean, really, like, until they show that scene, like, when they're getting on the freeway.
Yeah.
And kind of when they keep showing his house, like, it does kind of look like one of those. But that's because I'm familiar with that, you know?
Yeah.
But, like, if you're not familiar with the area, if you don't know what it looks like, it kind of looks like it could just be set in the Midwest.
Yeah, that's what I always felt like a lot of movies intentionally did. Like, they never really revealed that it was, like, California.
Yeah.
And, like, they don't do, like, a lot of California stuff, because even when they went to fraternity, like, nobody was, like, a surfer dude.
Nobody was like, oh, it's UCLA or something like that. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like a really popular Los Angeles school, so...
Yeah.
They don't, to me, I don't really get the impression that they're in Los Angeles specifically until, like, at the very end with that freeway scene. I was like, oh, I guess they were supposed to be in LA. Like,
when I was a kid, I just figured everything was like supposed to be in LA, because I just figured every movie was actually shot in LA. Like, I didn't even know, like, unless you're like watching some movie out in the wilderness or something. Like, I always felt like LA was just where they made all the movies.
But I don't even get where this is supposed to be taking place though either, because like at the end of the movie, this scene is when she tells him she's going to be going to school afloat or whatever they call it, like school on a boat.
Yeah, school afloat, which is you spend the whole senior year of high school like just cruising around the world on
like
a
Scientologist.
Ship. Yeah,
and like
basically she's joining the Sea Org.
Yeah, and like when he's gonna go chasing after her, he says something like, oh, when he's talking to the mom. Yeah. Later on the phone, she's like, "Oh, the ship leaves in like an hour or something like that."
Yeah.
And then like he goes and he's like, they're driving over there to San Pedro.
San Pedro, which is like real far
I'm
away.
Like, I don't know where they're supposed to be at then, because it wouldn't take from like the valley. It would not take an hour to get to San Pedro. It would be like way longer than that.
Now we have to talk about this place, this little hamburger place where like half the crew works at, another half of the crew are just always there as customers hanging out. Casey Shamasco and our boy Courtney Gangs, Malachi, they work there flipping burgers. But I was like, is this a real place? It's called the Dancing Burger, and it's got a cool logo of a burger with a top hat and like dancing shoes on and shit. And I was like, I want to go eat at the Dancing Burger, but sadly I don't think it's real, even though they do have some cool neon signs and shit.
They just made a sign for it.
Yeah. So basically Lori Loughlin had gone out with Casey Shamasco like briefly, and nothing ever happened, but he went around telling everybody that they banged all hot and heavy.
In his van.
Yeah, in his van. So she shows up, like, the van is, like, all trash. It don't even look like the same van from before. He's trying to get it repaired. And, like, she just comes with a baseball bat and fucks it all up. But it's, like, I get it's technically a crime, but, like, I didn't blame her for doing this, honestly. I felt like he kind of deserved it. Oh, yeah, we got to talk about these hijinks. Is, like... Everybody bumps into each other because all this ruckus is going on at the burger place. Everybody's slipping on soda. A burger flies up in the air, and the guy just catches it in his hand. Like
it looked like real too.
It
like
did
they
look
actually
real,
managed to do it.
Mm-hmm. And like they never explain why, but Lori Loughlin, her dad's car has a searchlight on it, like a police searchlight, which is weird because later we find out Kelly Preston's dad is actually a cop in this movie. But yeah. It's funny how all these people, like he had one of Kelly Preston and she has the one of C. Thomas Howell, but they all have like model photos that they trade to each other. Like, I think they're supposed to be like school yearbook photos, but they look like model pictures. It's weird.
Yeah, I don't think that place is real because like nothing is coming.
Nothing comes up. Yeah. Like, I should have looked up some movie locations for it. I'm sure somebody will show you the real... I mean, it's obviously a real hamburger place, but it probably was just called something else.
Yeah.
And they just made a crazy name. There is to make up, like, crazy names for, like, the... What do you call it? I forget what it's called, but the hamburger place John Cusack worked at in Better Off Dead with, like, the pig and all that shit. They always like come up with like wacky names and mascots for burger places and movies, but then you like go to like the Valley and it's always like fucking Joe's Burger #3 or whatever.
#3.
Yeah, like you ever see those shitty restaurants? Like they have multiple locations.
Well, they had like a knockoff Tommy's one, and they used to have Tommy's #2.
Did it? Yeah. But you see the fake ones in the movies with the mascots, and you're just like, yeah, like why wouldn't somebody like if you're gonna just open a plain ass burger place, why wouldn't you come up with like a cool mascot? Why would you just want to be fucking Steve's Burgers #8 or whatever?
#8.
Yeah, like Dancing Burgers.
I never
like, way
saw
cooler.
any go that high.
Yeah, no. There was always family restaurants in Cincinnati, like actual sit down family restaurants that would like I always called it old people food and shit, but it was like just had different. It was basically diners. But, like, they would have a name, and they'd usually be named after, like, the family, like, owned it, and they would have, like, in Latin numbers 1, 2, well, not 1, but 2, 3, 4.
Roman numeral?
Yeah, it'd be, like, Zaraco's 4. I think 4 was the highest I ever seen it go up to. But I always thought that was funny. You don't see, I mean, that probably died out in the 80s, to be fair, but you don't see that trend a lot.
I did see it growing up, when I was growing up.
Yeah.
Well,
So so
letter.
Dying out of curiosity, Lori Loughlin she read the letter that C. Thomas Howell wrote for Kelly Preston, and she was like, "This is dog shit," because it was.
Jeez.
He had to write a second one because his first one disappeared. Because Corey Haim stole it and passed around the entire world.
The one they were passing around was the one he got at the beginning.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
That was okay. That was the one he got.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he wrote one in response, and then it sucked. So Lori Loughlin wrote, and it's kind of like the idea. It's almost like this movie almost like has a Serrano.
Oh, here we discover that this is her mom.
Yeah, the teacher that his dad kissed is actually Kelly Preston's mom.
Mm-hmm.
But it's almost got like the Cyrano de Bergerac thing where it's like one person comes up with the words for the other person. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about? But yeah, so she starts writing the letters, and I think there's only 2, but she writes the letters for Kelly Preston, but C. Thomas Howell thinks his letters are actually going to her.
Mm-hmm. I have to say, oh look, she's wearing a shirt with a boat on it.
She is. She was getting ready for that float on a boat.
Oh, look at that popcorn machine.
Yeah, I saw it there when we were watching it. I want to get one of those.
I have to say, one of my favorite things about, like, a lot of the movies from back in the day is, like, they didn't, like, cake the girls' faces with makeup. Yeah. So, like, a lot of the times you can see their freckles.
Yeah. Like, nobody has freckles in movies anymore.
Yeah, like, I love how you can always see Lori's on her nose. Yeah. Now in movies, like, yeah, I didn't even know she had freckles.
Yeah, they sandblasted them away and shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Kelly Preston.
Now she has a letter.
Yeah, she has the letter written secretly by Lori Loughlin, and she's trying to hide it from her boyfriend, Jocko Steve, or whatever his name is, that comes over. So she crams it into her mom's purse. And then that's where Fred Ward, the great Fred Ward. Well, I guess actually this was the same year that Remo Williams Begins came out. So he wasn't a giant star yet. Like, he wasn't catapulted to stardom from Remo Williams yet. So he just plays like this goofy role as a dad. But I gotta say, like, Fred Ward, who unfortunately passed away, I think, like, last year. And he was like a dude like you never knew how old he was. Like, he died in his 70s, but he still like looked pretty much the way he did in this movie. He just was always super machismo, muy macho type of guy. And he always like played cops and shit. Like, he was in Miami Blues with Baldwin. And like, yeah, he's just great in this this role here. Like, it's such a goofy comedic role, but like, you don't think that he's a clown. Like, he actually comes off like a real hard ass guy in this. That's why I think it works so well.
Is that an Aunt Jemima statue there or something?
I didn't know.
Oh my god, it's so weird.
But these houses have the weirdest decorations in them. The tackiest fucking decor you've ever seen.
So he's taking money from the wife, and then he found the letter.
Yeah, he steals like $8 out of his wife's purse, and then he finds that letter that Kelly Preston just like shoved in there. Oh yeah, the special. Let's talk about the special effect here. This is amazing.
What? You're the one that knew what it was. I thought it was real.
No, because you can see the lace wig of his hairline. But...
I noticed it after, like, right before it changed the shot.
But
this is where what you noticed.
Oh yeah, this is amazing. So C. Thomas Howell and Lori Loughlin are in a pool, and he's wearing yellow trunks, and he's on a red raft. She's wearing red bikini and she's on a yellow raft. So it's like they totally reversed like.
But see, it's just like simple things like that where I love that about like old movies that they considered things like that.
Yeah, there was actually an art
just
choice,
to make it look like stylized somehow. You know, like,
that's why movies back then, even cheap movies, seemed larger than life, and now $200 million movies seem very cheap and shitty.
Well, they're always all either gray or orange.
Yeah. The Michael Bay aesthetic that everybody loves.
she trashed another one of them.
Oh no, yeah, she had to rewrite another.
What is
letter.
she doing?
Yeah, she like looking at binoculars, like writing the thing. Lori Loughlin is. But no, what we were getting at when Fred Ward read the letter from his wife's purse, he thinks thinks she has an admirer. He like his vein in the side of his head started popping out, like they pan up, and his head is like it looks like some scanner shit. It looks like his head's about to blow up. It's crazy.
Because he's so angry.
This is the best here where Corey Haim comes in and steals more money out of C. Thomas Howell's wallet. Like right behind him while he's talking on the phone.
He was ready to jet.
Yeah.
He look at the little funny tail he had.
His rat tail. I remember like getting that rat tail cut into my hair when I was a kid and like not even asking for it. Like I just remember the women would just do it.
Really?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Now,
some nice pajamas she's wearing.
I thought you were gonna say something else.
What, her boobs?
Yeah, I was like, damn, I thought you were gonna say like, oh, nice tits.
But when would I ever say that?
I know, but it just seemed like that's what you were gonna say because she was like bending over and they were about falling out and shit. But yeah, like I didn't know this, but I was reading the trivia that they actually had originally they had a different actress for Kelly Preston, and they shot 4 days. Her name was Julianne Phillips. And they said not that she visually looked old. They said she seemed too sophisticated. Like her personality, like she seemed like she was like just with a bunch of little kids, you know.
Oh yeah.
So like then
well, it's kind of how Kelly Preston seems.
Yeah, but then they just went like the sex bomb route with Kelly Preston, which they probably were just like, oh, they probably just found her.
Yeah,
he's literally at the teacher.
He looks like such a Simpsons character.
Yeah.
With that smile he had.
So Kelly Preston is the letter tells her, the second letter tells her to go to a park and sit on a park bench and wait for...
No, they were in her room, and Lori Loughlin called him, like, while she was sitting right there next to her. And she said, okay, do you want to meet tonight? And he's like, okay, where? And, like, he said at the park or whatever. And she's like, okay. So she tells her.
Yeah, okay. So anyway, he pops out literally from behind a tree, and she's like, oh, what the fuck are you doing here, you dork? And then he's like, I wrote the letter, and all of a sudden she like instantly gets hot and bothered.
At first she doesn't believe him.
Yeah, and then he recites the letter. Well, not really, though, because he didn't even write that letter.
Yeah, no.
But yeah, he just convinces her, and then all of a sudden she gets like horny. Like, do you think that's really a thing? Because I know she's like, oh, my boyfriend that pounds my guts out at college... he's such a dummy, but whoever writes these letters is so sophisticated and such a lover and all this bullshit. But I mean,
like I wrote them.
like two letters would really, get a like I could get it if you got like a year's worth of letters and like you fell in love with the voice behind the letters, but like 2 letters and she's like, oh man.
Well, to be fair, it was a female that wrote them, and so they were very lyrical, so...
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that was enough to melt her heart.
That would probably be the thing now, like, if you wrote it, like, the 2 girls would end up just going off together.
Probably.
Now, this is some awkward-ass shit here with Cliff DeYoung is trying to convince his teacher to have an affair with them, and like, well, we should go on a date, we always felt this way, and... since we were young and all this kind of shit.
I just, I feel weird about her character because, like...
The teacher, the mom?
Yeah, like, she seems so sweet, and, like, there's just something about her face that just makes you, like, think she's, like, real cute or whatever.
Yeah.
But, like, she's so, like, dumb. Like, she's, like, falling for everything he's saying, and I'm just kind of, like... what are you doing? Like, because I mean, it's not like she seemed that unhappy with her husband or anything.
No,
like, she's just like going along with whatever he's saying, and I'm kind of like, what are you doing?
Fred Ward is on a stakeout. He's watching them leave the
very
school.
Obviously.
Yeah, he's like 10 feet away, and like all they have to do is just look straight ahead, and they would see him. But here, his head's
so
going to start throbbing. I wonder if they shot that on the same day, so like to use the makeup choice.
He's so like that's one thing. Like yes, like they didn't show it. It wasn't this scene.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's later on when he's like in the car or whatever.
Like, I know that like overall the the hijinks of this movie are like over the top. Oh look, he's using that meat.
Yeah,
patty.
he uses raw meat to cool his head off. This guy working in the burger place.
Yeah, and then he put it back. But like his character, the dad, is like really like cartoony over the top, like.
Yeah, he's like Yosemite Sam kind of.
He's just like so temperamental and like he's ready to like kill anybody at any second.
Yeah. So talk about getting the maximum bang for your buck for a filming location. Now, C. Thomas Howell is having his date with Kelly Preston at the Dancing Burger. And, like, I like this, too, because, like, there was, like, another one. I can't remember if it was Last American Virgin or what. There's, like, another movie where, like, the guys, like, every 10 minutes are just at the same, like, pizza place nonstop. I kind of missed that with, like, 80s movies. It kind of simplified it. And, yeah, like, in a second here...
She's so into him now.
Yeah, she is. Like, she just looks at him, like, so lovingly.
Like, even though, like, before she knew it was really him writing the letters at the park, like, she was so grossed out by him.
Yeah, she was. I gotta say, I really like this, like, Freddy Krueger shirt that he has on. It's like a red with green patches shirt. It's, like, kind of weird and creepy.
I couldn't tell if there were, like, holes in it, really. Like,
yeah, I think it was
kind of looks like there's actual holes in it.
Yeah. And now, for some reason, Casey Shimashko, who's, like, a dork, he thinks now he can have sex with Kelly Preston just because his friend is, like, on a date with her. And it's just, like, really weird. Like, why do they all
he's, like, trying to pick up on her, like, right in front of his friend.
Yeah, his name's Roger.
Hello.
Yeah, and she's just, like, because she's all about C. Thomas Howell now, like, she takes her chili burger that she ordered, and, like, it looked like a fucking nasty diarrhea burger.
Everything looks like diarrhea to you.
I know, it's just, like, it just does. I don't know. But yeah, she takes it and smashes it in his face. That was like more hijinks of the 80s.
God, so
Everybody was getting nasty food shoved in their face back then.
That's what he gets. I don't even get why you would try and pick up on your friend's like date.
You knew your friend had a giant crush on the hottest girl in school. He gets his first date with her, and now you're trying to cockblock just.
Yeah, like it was his idea to go try and get a piece at that party in the first place. Like, why is he getting in the way?
Yeah, and it's just like, and also too, like, why would she go for a guy wearing a dorky ass fucking burger work outfit? You know what I mean? It's like, this is the 80s, you gotta dress with style.
Especially for her. She's all fancy.
Yeah, she's wearing her mom's finest costume jewelry, it looks like.
Jeez.
Yeah. So, like, they leave there, like, they never got anything to eat. She's probably starving, but she's just like, it's alright, you can dig me out real quick. Take me to Lookout Point or whatever it's called.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And, like, it's funny, they start kissing while he's driving. I thought this shot was funny. He's trying to drive into the park, but he's like literally going off the road and shit. Like, he's really ready to crash.
Yeah, that was weird. It's like, why would you do that?
Yeah.
Here she comes with her big beer.
Yeah, now Lori Loughlin goes to the Lookout Point. Like, I don't know. Like, if you're sexually frustrated, why do you want to go to Lookout Point where everybody's boning and shit, you know? And I wonder, I mean, I guess it was probably a thing in, like, the 60s, but you always see that in 80s movies. Everybody's going to Lookout Point to have sex. And it's like, who would really want to, like, just find, like, an old road or something where there's not a lot of people. Like, why would you want to, like, make out with, like, 10 other cars right next to you where everybody's doing the same thing, you know what I mean?
Because you're not looking at the other people around you.
Yeah, but, I mean, it's, like, no privacy. Like, you think a girl would be, like, you know...
But everybody else is doing the same thing that you're doing.
Yeah, but when we watched All Right Moves, Tom drove his car up on, like, almost that cliff and took Leah Thompson's pants off in the car, like, and she was more uninhibited because, like, there wasn't 30 people standing nearby. Whereas, like, this one, although I gotta say it's not an issue in this one because, like, as we're gonna see in a minute. And then, okay, here's where the movie kicks into super comedy hijinks. Yeah. Where, like, they're in the car making out, and then his dad and her mom pull up right next to him to start getting their make-out going. But, it's, like, super awkward, though, because, like, they're, like, two married people who, like, they know they're about to start cheating on their spouses, but, like, they don't really want to. It's, like, they almost feel like the peer pressure to cheat.
Where they're talking about each other's, like, they're talking about like their husband and their wife.
It's like they're trying to like get rid of their guilt. Because they're like, oh, I like your husband. Oh, I like your wife. Oh, yeah, I like him. I really like him. And it's like, yeah.
Oh my god. What are you doing over there?
Because I ran out of water already.
Oh, dang.
I gotta eat a mint to make my mouth moist.
You couldn't drink some of my orange soda.
No, it's
orange
okay.
cream soda.
I probably will towards the end. But yeah, it's like super awkward and cringe. Meanwhile, next door in the other car. Oh yeah, there he is. Fred Ward's up.
There it is.
He's up on the cliff
Oh,
watching.
that thing looks so gross.
It does. Looks like he got a tumor inside his head. What was this little electric wire coming out of like the side of his car?
I know. I saw that.
I was like, what? I was like, is that how they ran the microphone into the car or something?
Maybe.
It was weird.
Oh, and then here comes this guy.
Yeah, the fraternity jock, like he almost hits the dad, and he's mad. He's mad because he's out looking for Kelly Preston's girlfriend. Like somehow he knows she's out on a date.
Was that the dad?
Yeah, it was the dad leaving. And yeah, he starts like pulling everybody out of the cars and shit. And like meanwhile, everybody's got like their pants down, their balls are hanging out. Here's Doug Savant from Melrose Place. I think that was him. That was him.
That's so funny.
He was in a bunch of 80s movies.
Oh,
here is Kelly Preston.
Your favorite part.
She's bringing them out. Now, you had a real problem with her nipples in this scene. What was it that you didn't like about her nipples?
They're just light colored. I don't know. It looks weird to me.
Cause like I remember like how round her boobs were when they got pulled out, but like I didn't. When you said that afterwards, I was like, I didn't even remember. Like, did she have nipples? I don't even remember.
I mean, she does. It's just light colored.
They like blend into the color of her boob.
Yeah, that always weirds me out.
Yeah. But yeah,
oh my god,
like everybody, man. Oh, this guy, he's beating them up for no reason.
Throw him down the fucking hill. Oh my gosh, where's he going?
Yeah, now Lori Loughlin knows that.
And every time he opens the door, people know who he is. So they're like, "Oh, hi, Steve," or whatever his name is.
Steve. But Lori Loughlin comes to save him. She's like, Steve, what are you doing? Like, don't you know I've always wanted you to bone me? Why don't you take me back to your frat house?
Here, feel my boob.
Yeah.
He's like, okay.
Yeah, like she's like, feel my heart beating. And she puts his hand on her like other boob, like not where her heart is.
Oh yeah, I didn't even notice that.
I thought that was funny because your heart's in the left side of your chest. She's like, feel my right boob.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah.
That's funny. He all of a sudden forgot about his mad search.
Yeah.
He's all checking her out. Whoa.
I just had a weird thought, like that cliff with like that's like fucking busy nonstop with everybody boning. Fucking the Zodiac killer would have had a field day there, man. He could have racked up like 12 murders in 10 seconds.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, so Fred Ward now goes to D. Wallace Stone to tell her, like, hey, you know, your husband is banging my wife. Now, this is... Yeah, she jumps into his arms. So they're like, God, we should start banging. Yeah.
I like how he's so, like, violent towards those bastards.
I thought this was a very awkward shot here. Like, they're, like, barely in the frame at all.
They're, like, creeping in.
Yeah. They're finally getting ready. Cliff DeYoung and Fred Ward's wife are finally getting ready to get their big makeout on. But, like, again, they're slowly inching towards each other. Like, but, now that you kind of see, like, the plot's kind of laid out in full here with all the hijinks of all the people either cheating or about to cheat or thinking they're going to cheat, with the secret admirer letter cause all the you know, problems. Like, were you surprised that, like, that one original letter caused so much shit between so many different characters?
Yes, it was so zany.
Like, it was kind of crazy that so many people got affected by it. Like,
but then it wasn't even like, oh my god. But then it wasn't even like that original letter that caused it, because then the letter that her husband found was a second letter.
Yeah, it was a second. So yeah, Cliff DeYoung finally looks over and sees C. Thomas Howell going at it with Kelly Preston. He's like, oh, that's my son and your daughter. We got to get out of here before they see us. And as they creep away, then Fred Ward and D. Wallace Stone pull in, and they pull in the same spot.
Look how they're right.
They drive. Yeah, they're all hiding down the car. it's funny how everybody just passes each other and doesn't realize it. And it's the hijinks.
Oh my god.
But yeah, they parked there. And they're like, oh, they're parked right here, but now they're gone. And then they start talking. Maybe we should cheat to get back at them.
I just like how angry he gets. It's funny.
But you know what's funny about it is like it seems real. Like it's not like it's not like shitty comedy acting. Like you actually believe this guy would fucking kill somebody.
I know. And then I like how he gets easily convinced to cheat too. He's like, okay, yeah, that's a good idea.
It's like the automatic. And you know, like I mean, like I've been fortunate enough. I've never been in that situation in my life. But like that was, I don't know if that's just like a thing in movies, or if it's like in real life people do that. Instead of like just divorcing or breaking up with somebody, it's like automatically if you get cheated on, you got to cheat like right away, like as soon as you can.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so
this guy's room is so gross.
Our boy Steve takes Lori Loughlin
look
back.
at his shirt. It's so grungy.
Yeah,
dingy.
He's such a slob.
Ugh, so gross. Even she's like, ugh.
I feel like he's got some Ryan Gosling vibes going on in this though, like the way Gosling always play like all those low life characters and shit. This is probably the character that he bases Place Beyond the Pines character off of. But yeah, like dude has like beer cans piled up on the window and shit. He's got a bong that looks like some titties back there. He's got fantasy of the art on the walls with dragons and ladies' asses hanging out. And yeah, and then like Lori Loughlin's like, oh, you know, they start talking about some rubbers and shit. Like he's just like, I want to bang you out right now. And then she's like, oh, I gotta use the bathroom. And it's like awesome. She just climbs out the bathroom window. But yeah, I don't know. It would have been sad if he would act like, because like some 80s comedies are more sleazier than others, but it would have been sad if he actually would have got her here.
Yeah.
But thankfully he doesn't.
I don't think she would have never let that. I don't think she would ever let that happen though.
No, she was way too virginal. I mean, I guess she...
No, not virginal. She just knew what she wanted. She had self-respect.
Yeah, but I mean, she's like literally virginal in this movie because nobody had sex with her.
I know, but I don't feel like that's why she did it. I feel like she did it just because she didn't want to... That guy's nasty and she didn't want to do him.
Yeah, I mean, she only like... It was just a... For sure, yeah, she sneaks past the window and he doesn't even see her. But it was a cunning ruse attempt to save C. Thomas Howell so he could bone in peace without getting beat up by Steve at Lookout Point. But it's just like some good comedic shit here. Like now he thinks she's still in the bathroom, so he's talking to her and he's like, you know what? Like I was moving too fast. I'm sorry.
I have to say this scene kind of gave him a little bit of
humanity.
Yeah, because he looked like he really was like, this isn't a good idea.
Because he's actually in love with Kelly Preston.
Yeah.
And he's just mad, or he's just like sad and heartbroken that she's with another guy or whatever now. He's
all like pouring his heart out.
Yeah.
And she's not even there.
The greasy dumb jock has a heart. So, this movie was directed by our boy David Greenwalt, which you know a lot about.
Is he the guy from Joss World?
Yeah.
Oh, I was like, why does that guy's name sound so familiar? But then I was like, he's got to be old then.
He's 74 now. In the last movie he was going to direct a little while ago, he had to drop out of it because of health reasons.
That is so crazy.
Yeah, so he's a co-executive producer of Buffy the Vampire Slayer TV show. And then, like, when they did the spin-off of Angel, he kind of went over and took that over.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He was the showrunner for that.
Yeah.
Whedonverse is what I meant to say.
Jossverse. Now there's no Joss anything.
Yeah.
So yeah, like same thing happens. Like yeah, Dee Wallace and Fred Ward start making out, and then he's gonna look over and sees his daughter. And
she looks over.
Yeah, she realizes it, and then he wants to like go break it up.
He's like, oh yeah.
Then she's like, but they'll see us, so then they have to sneak out of here. So I think this is a good part of the movie for us to take a little break and talk about the Vasos del Papel plagiarism controversy.
What?
Yeah.
What is that?
Vasos del Papel. In 2016, the Puerto Rican film Vasos del Papel, literal translation, paper cups, was object of criticism and mockery.
Vasos de papel.
Yeah, after it was discovered that the film, produced and directed by Eduardo Transfor Ortiz, was an unauthorized, almost exact scene copy of Secret Admirer. The film had been playing on 25 screens in local cinemas in Puerto Rico for less than a week when film critic Orlando Manaldo wrote an article comparing 4 sequences from each of the films and pointing out how they were carbon copies of each other.
Dang.
Once the film was no longer in cinemas, Ortiz, who previously attributed the writing of the film's screenplay only to himself, first said that there was only certain similarities between one film and another, not plagiarism. A few hours after making this statement, Ortiz changed it in a radio interview saying he done something terribly wrong, apologizing to his cast and crew. Ortiz refused to comment on the issue until singer-songwriter, film's lead actress Natalia Lugo released a statement on her Facebook page where she condemned the film, which was her acting debut, and expressed the embarrassment she felt when she saw Secret Admirer, and came to understand how she and her fellow actors and crew had been duped. So this fucking guy remade the movie scene by scene, and then fucking like was just like, oh no, I made this movie, I wrote this shit. So Fred Ward is seeing Cliff DeYoung drive by on the street, and
he saw him crash.
Yeah, and like it happens off camera, but Fred Ward crashes into a semi, and now he's going to come driving home here in a second. His car's going to.
He didn't even turn around to go check if he was okay.
So obviously, there's a lot of hot passion going on that Kelly Preston's been reading these letters, but she went pretty far on her first date, when you say.
Yeah, really.
Like,
and then when he was trying to get a real piece, like trying to stick his hand up her cooch, she was like, no. She all of a sudden she was this virginal.
She's like, we gotta save something for later, blah. But like, yes,
not on the first date. I think that's what she says. Yeah.
So my question to you is she a slut or is she just a product of the 80s?
I don't know if I would say she's a slut, just because, like, I mean, she's been consistently with that one guy, and then, like, only, like, now she's with this guy.
Yeah.
If she were, like, with different college guys, like, in every different scene or whatever,
around.
Yeah, then I'd be like, oh, what a slut. But, I mean, really, we know her as that guy's her boyfriend, and, you know. Yeah. And now this guy's trying to...
I was kind of surprised that Fred Ward comes home after getting in that crash and his car's all fucked up. And then I see Thomas, I was like, oh, good evening. He's like, yeah, get the fuck out of here.
I thought she was, like, super sexy in this scene.
Yeah,
like,
Lori
Loughlin. Her
Loughlin.
book.
Yeah, she just kind of lounging
those
around.
PJs look comfy.
So, it's kind of interesting somebody figured this out. But this Blu-ray that we're watching, this is the Olive Films Blu-ray version. This was released on February 16th, 2016. And it's ironically the date of the theatrical premiere of Vassals del Pepo. And what are the what are the chances of that happening? Isn't that weird. Fucking weird?
That is weird.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of Lori Loughlin and her beautiful freckles, 5 years after this film's release, Lori Loughlin appeared in the Full House episode entitled Secret Admirer. Which also had a plot about a love letter falling into the wrong hands and causing familial distress.
That's funny.
So then she ripped off her own shit.
That's funny.
Yeah. And one bit of trivia here is Paul Gleason was considered for the role of Lou Fimple, which is Fred Ward, before Fred Ward was cast. So the guy who was the principal in the Breakfast Club almost was the angry dad. He would have been good, but he's not as hard ass. Like I really believe Fred Ward would kick the shit out of you. Yeah.
Oh my god.
He knows his slut daughter's going out with C. Thomas Howe, and he's all mad drinking a beer in the window.
Yeah, he's all excited to be going on this date with her, but she can't fucking stop talking about going shopping.
Yeah.
This whole time she's just running her mouth about going shopping.
Yeah, they're going on like an actual real date this time. because like the first date went amazing. You know, he met her in the park. They drove up to the cliff. She got her.
They went to Dancing Burger.
Yeah, they went to Dancing Burger. She threw the chili burger in the guy's face, and then she got naked immediately after that. But now like they're actually going on like a full date. Like he's going to take her to a nice restaurant, and they're just going to sit down and talk. And yeah, first of all, she eats like a slob. And then, like, because she eats like a slob, she gets, she has a pair of white pants on. She gets spaghetti grease.
They're not white. They're just, like, designer pants.
No, okay, I thought they were white.
But, like, because I was seeing her as she walked up. Look how happy he got when he saw her.
Yeah.
He was so bored because all she's doing is talking about shopping.
Like already, like, he's, like, annoyed with Kelly Preston. And, like, I guess, because, you know, like, she was, like, getting all naked and stuff on the first date. Like, you probably just didn't have time to realize she had an annoying personality. But he's like, totally, like, just like, oh, God, this is brutal, you know?
I have to say with this, like, I think it's pretty interesting because, like, even on the scene when he was there with Lori Loughlin earlier.
Yeah, the
like,
pizza place.
It's interesting. Oh, God.
She's like, fuck.
In this movie, like, the girls, like, they're not afraid to eat some, like, gnarly food. Like,
yeah.
In that scene with Lori Loughlin, she ordered a meatball sandwich.
Yeah.
And then, like, when they were at the Dancing Burger, like, she didn't eat it, but she ordered that chili burger, chili dog, whatever it was.
Chili burger, yeah.
And then in this scene now, like, she's eating, like, a messy plate of spaghetti.
Yeah.
Like, I thought that's
interesting. I think it was pretty assumed, though, that, like, chicks chowed down pretty hard in the 80s, but then they just stuck their fingers down their throat and they threw it up. Yeah, that's pretty much what happened.
Yeah. But I just mean in general, like, the appearance of eating, like, messy food just seems interesting that the food choices that they chose in this movie.
I thought this is funny because he has to go buy a club soda real quick from the bar to, you know, give her something to get the stain out of her pants. And he realizes he has no money, so he has to borrow money from Lori Loughlin for his date. It just was a funny, like, that's a good thing in comedies when you call back to shit that happened earlier, because Corey Haim robbed him, remember? Mm-hmm. He took all the money out of his wallet. Mm-hmm. But yeah.
Oh my God.
It was almost like a scene of joysticks there at the arcade.
She was, like, screaming and cussing her full head off because she dropped the stupid spaghetti on her pants.
Yeah. It's like, well, if you didn't eat like a pig, like you just would have ate like slower.
Well, if she would have stopped fucking talking when she was eating, is what the problem was.
Yeah, if it kind of like fell out of her mouth.
She was so fucking concerned with talking up the storm.
Yeah, so like he takes her home, and this was kind of like the anti-slut shame date. Like they don't do anything sexual on this date, just so they can say like, oh, like we officially waited till the third date to have sex. That's the way I took it. Like how did you read it?
Just that they went on a date.
Because, you know, a girl's not a slut if you have sex on the third date.
I never interpreted anything like that.
Yeah.
Oh, busted again.
Oh, Corey. Like, how endless supply of money is there in his brother's desk? Like,
and what is he needed for?
Yeah, like, I was about to say, like...
Look how he handles him.
Yeah, this is awesome. Like, he picks him up, he almost drops him on his head, and he totally just throws him out of the window into the rose bush. And he even says, not Mom's rose bushes, ah! He's getting all stabbed up like a little jerk. Yeah.
Oh, now he sees her picture.
Yeah. Now, see Thomas Howell, he opens the drawer to throw the money in, and he sees a picture of Lori Loughlin. And I thought that was a weird shot. Like, it wasn't long enough, I guess, so they had to freeze frame it after a second. It was weird. But yeah, he realizes the error of his ways, I would say.
Yeah, he's realizing he loves her.
I saw he had a Mad Magazine board game. I didn't know that they had that in the 80s. It's probably worth a lot of money now.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. Cliff DeYoung, I think he's at his day job. Now he's calling Fred Ward's wife to be like, you know, we should really go ahead and do this. We need to bang out. So, let's get to... And she's like, oh, Saturday will be fine. He's like, yeah, oh, it's going to be so hot and heavy. And she's like, no, you dummy. Like, Bridge Club is Saturday. You and your wife are coming to play cards with me, you know, at my house. And then he's like, oh. So, like, it's just so funny how much they get a lot of comedy mileage, I guess you could say, out of the misunderstandings in this movie. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, I did think that was clever.
Yeah. And, like, this isn't a super long movie. I think it's just, like, a little over 90 minutes. But, like, it goes at a pretty rapid pace, and, like, a lot of different shit actually happens. And that's why... kind of thing is actually good, and worthwhile. So I gotta say, so this is our Valentine's Day movie. Like on a scale of 1 to 10, like 1 just being like, I don't know, like some Tom Cruise non-sexual, he never kisses anybody shit in modern movies, to like 10 being like hot and heavy when Tom was like in All the Right Moves where he's putting hands in the bush and all that.
Dang.
Like on a scale of 1 to 10, how romantic is Secret Admirer, like with the love story? Like I know we're kind of like jumping ahead, we haven't got there yet because like we watched the movie already, we know how the love story plays out, but just overall as a Valentine's Day movie, like, you know, romance, like how would you say? Because we only cover really one romance film a year, so this is it. But
I'd give it like a 2 or a 3.
a 2 or that? Woo! Why that low? Everybody was getting horny and hooking up and having dates.
Yeah, but you're saying romantic love. That's not romantic love
Yeah.
that they're doing. They're all doing the opposite of that. And like any kind of like sweet romantic thing that happens literally in the like. It's worse than Hallmark movies happening in the last 8 minutes. It happens like in the last like 60 seconds of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, I don't know. Like that's another thing that I was frustrated with was just like, and the movie just ended so fast. So it was like,
Now, in our Valentine's Day movie from last year, Date with the Angel, like the guy, like he just wanted to focus and fall in love with the angel because she had magic powers. That was part of the reason why he's falling in love so quick. But like that one, like they had the shrill voice of Phoebe Cates, who normally is portrayed as the sweetest woman of all time in films, but she was very shrill, a very harsh girlfriend. And that one, she was nagging and annoying. Like, so do you see kind of like a reoccurring theme in the 80s films? Like, you couldn't just get the romance on. Like, there had to be a secondary woman who was very annoying.
I mean, I don't know if that was done on purpose. I mean, just because they're annoying to me doesn't mean that other people find them annoying.
Well, no, they're supposed to be annoying. Like the way Kelly Preston was acting at the pizza place, which like that was supposed to be intentionally annoying. Yeah. I don't know why, but this was kind of a hot look when girls wore ties in the 80s. I don't know why.
To you?
I mean, I guess to me, because I'm just commenting, I was seeing it on movies from back then, but like, when they would wear a tie, like with like a dress shirt, like it was kind of hot. Yeah. Roger.
Oh, so the big thing is like it's the guy's birthday.
Yeah, C. Thomas Howell.
And the girl went and told everybody that the big birthday gift she was going to give, that's what he's telling her right now.
Yeah.
The big birthday gift that she's going to give him is her.
Yeah.
Herself.
And
they're going to do it.
And, well, that's like another fucked up thing is like his birthday party is at Lori Loughlin's house. Like, I guess her parents are away.
Yeah.
And then Kelly Preston is going to bang him. And not only in her house, but they end up going into her parents' bedroom. Mm-hmm. And it's just like extra insulting because
it's this scene, the way it plays out. Like they're cutting the cake and like handing out the pieces, and everybody's gathered around. And then she comes and whispers in his ear.
Yeah, she's like, well, let's fuck.
And like everybody's watching, and then he gets this goofy look on his face, and everybody's like, "What? What's happening?"
Yeah, he's
What's
like, "Oh, I
on?"
gotta do it."
And then she just drags him away,
Yeah.
and they're like just standing there with like their dicks in their hands.
Yeah, and Lori Loughlin's like, "You
okay.
fucking jerk! I got this cake for you. Like, it's gonna be cut into like 8 pieces, and we got 40
It's just
people
like
here."
everybody's looking at them going up there. Like it just was so
obvious.
weird. Yeah,
So
it was
obvious.
so weird.
But I thought it like that's how I was like, well, maybe she's actually a slut if she tells the whole school they're gonna have sex before they do it. Like,
yeah,
like why
that
would
was
you
weird.
tell everybody that
That
you're gonna
was
have sex unless you want to be known as a slut? Yeah, and then Lori Loughlin found out, and she's just so grossed out. But it's like it does beg the question. Like I guess she figured she was never gonna get him, so she just wanted to help him be happy. Like that's why she's like the true love, because she wanted to, see her friend who she's in love with be happy.
Yeah.
But then that's just like an extra level of like when they're upstairs. Like I would just be like, listen, guys, like if you want to do whatever, you gotta like leave this house. Like I wouldn't let somebody go have sex with my parents. Like could you imagine like the girl you love getting banged out by like your friend in your parents' bed? Like that would just like like while they were like climaxing, I would like be in the backyard like blowing my head off. Like that's just like,
oh my god, jeez.
this is like, that's too over the top.
He has a slip of the tongue and says the word affair. Now the
Yeah.
wife's going crazy. What is on his plate? It looks like a fucking like fried turd.
Yeah, no, you know what I thought? It looked like those. We're talking about the parents now. They're having their bridge club party.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, like it looked like one of those. What do you call it? Novelty things, like the fake dog turd that you throw on somebody's lawn or whatever.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. So the parents have a fight, and it kind
Oh
of becomes a de facto food fight because like there's all this food everywhere. They're on this bridge club party. So every time they fall into something, they now this is really hijinks. Like this is this clock falls on this guy's head. Like it really looks like somebody like it looks like the actors aren't even being careful.
Like the actors are doing stunts.
Like they're just falling down and hitting their heads on tables and chairs and shit.
So gross.
It's really crazy.
I like how the sophisticated dude has a bird on his shoulder.
Yeah, parakeet. Jeffrey Blake has a parakeet on his shoulder.
Everybody here knows that they're up there doing it. They're talking about, what are they doing up there?
Yeah.
Can you imagine what they're doing?
And it's supposed to be like you're just supposed to imagine like the wildest like slanging of dick is going on upstairs. But
oh my god.
But
too
like what was it? Because he's trying to get it in her, and she's like, it hurts, and he's like, oh, let me try. She's like,
she just kept making it seem like he was doing it wrong. Or,
yeah.
Ow! She just kept fucking crying.
I know.
Just watching it without sound is annoying me.
And it's not like he's like ramming into her. Like he's just barely laying on top of her. And then he's like, well, what do you want me to do? And she's like, do it right. And I was just like, was it just supposed to be that she was actually a virgin? Or
she's like, it hurts.
She's just super tight or what? Like, it's just weird. And what's weird is, like, I was surprised because...
Damn, he totally punched her boob right there.
Yeah, when he got off her.
He, like, to cover her with the blanket.
He was kind of over her already. And then the fact that he can't even have sex with her without her being super annoying. And like, yeah, like I don't really know who's to blame here. Like, or just maybe dude's got a giant dick. I don't know.
Her and her granny panties.
Yeah.
Her underwear were so like giant and saggy.
Well, it didn't really matter because she was so naked anyway. But yeah, she tells him like, "Now you got to go down here and you got to tell everybody it was so great, and you got to pretend like it was so great." Lori Loughlin looks like she's had her heart ripped out.
Oh my god.
Yeah. It's like, what a weird thing to come down some stairs and have a room full of people just waiting, looking at you. Like, did you bang? Did you bang up there?
She's like, this is a great party.
Yeah. It sucks.
They all have the wrong idea.
Yeah. Everybody thinks the opposite happened. I like this where she just puts her glass on the banister and lets it fall down.
Oh my gosh. They're getting back home from their bridge night.
Yeah, he's taking...
Oh no, I thought it was the parents.
No, yeah, he's taking Kelly Preston home, but like she comes into her house and like the whole house is like ruined because when all that fighting was going on, like all the fucking guacamole and shit was flying all over the house and shit. And this is kind of where it starts getting cleared up here, like because Fred Ward's confronting his wife, like, you know. All this affair and shit, this letter, and then finally Kelly Preston will be like, "What are you doing reading my letter?" And so
it was so funny how everybody in this movie just drove like a maniac.
They did. Everybody was just like, I guess it helps when the streets are cleared out for you and wetted down with rain, fake rain and shit. But like, yeah, everybody's wanting to be skidding and sliding all over. C. Thomas Howell comes home and his parents are fighting about the same thing. And they were talking about the letter that they had, and then finally he's like, "Hey, that's my letter, blah blah. That's the letter I wrote, whatever." Or I got the last day of school, yeah. And so like it's kind of cool, like how everything kind of wraps up immediately, like all over. It's pretty good.
I like how he's acting mad though. You're reading my stuff. Yeah. There's no privacy here.
Yeah, there's no privacy in this house.
And they're like, what?
But the thing that's kind of funny about it, though, is they're like, oh, that was that letter? Oh, okay, that explains everything. But, like, whether you thought there was a letter or not a letter or whatever the fuck, like, everybody still wanted to be cheating on everybody.
Yeah, but I think it was just because they were under the wrong impressions.
Yeah.
They just felt that way because they thought their spouse felt that way.
Yeah.
He's grubbing on that ice cream.
Wow, C. Thomas Howell and Lori Loughlin later reunited as lovers on the television series Summerland, 2004.
Wow.
I didn't know that.
Huh. I remember that show.
Yeah.
Oh, now she's saying that's her. How could you?
How could you, Daddy? How could you read my slut letter? Oh. And it's like, yeah. Also, C. Thomas Howell and Kelly Preston appear in the 1987 film A Tiger's Tale.
Mm.
I don't remember that one. It sounds kind of familiar.
Mm. I like.
Oh, yeah, I remember that movie.
I like how these two reacted. They, like, fell in love with each other.
Yeah, Fred Ward and his wife, they're like, oh, thank God, we can still be in love. It's like, again, everybody cheated. Like,
here's your favorite weight loss during sex.
Yeah,
Dieter's Guide.
The Central Dieter's Guide to Weight Loss During Sex. That's the poster Kelly Preston has up in her room. It's like, could you imagine, especially like Fred Ward in this movie, how like fucking angry and shit?
Yeah, really.
You come in and see that on your daughter's wall, I'd be taking that shit off and breaking it right there. Yeah.
She's so sad. Everybody's so sad.
Mm-hmm. Casey Shamasco, J.J. Cohen. So J.J. Cohen was one of the other members of the crew. And Courtney Gaines all appear in Back to the Future. I think Courtney Gaines is just like literally an extra, but yeah. Okay, this
now she's got the Bosco.
Yeah, now Lori Loughlin's doing the Bosco on her. What was she eating in the ice cream?
Oh
yeah, she's
at least that's normal.
Kelly Preston's eating ice cream. She's eating strawberry ice cream. Lori Loughlin's eating ice cream.
Dang, she couldn't even eat it.
No, she's like, this shit's too gross, too melty.
No, because the doorbell rang.
Yeah, C. Thomas House shut up. They say, somebody said on the trivia, they said, there's a lot of irony in the scene where Michael is trying to hitchhike. C. Thomas Howell would star in The Hitcher a year later at a cigarette. That is not irony, you fucking moron. First of all, he's in The Hitcher, but he's not The Hitcher. He's the guy who gives the ride. So that, like, makes no fucking sense. Like,
so, like, this is a scene that frustrated me because, like, he's trying to come back and profess his love.
Yeah.
And she's like, no. And it's just like, what do you, like... She's so insulted, and it's just like, but he's like finally realizing that he's in love with you. Like,
well, to be fair, I'm on her side though, because he shows up and he's like, like we've been friends for so long. He's like, how about it didn't work out with me and her. How about you and me go on a date finally, a real date? And she's like, are you kidding me? Like, it's so insulting. Like, you come here and you fuck this girl in my parents' bed, and now you want to go out with me.
But he already told her that they didn't do anything.
No, I think he kind of is still explaining it. Like, to be fair, he did get the tip in, so, I mean, it's not like nothing happened,
I don't know. To me, I'm like, I mean, I guess I just have the perspective that boys don't know how to express those kinds of feelings very well, and so... This is the best way he knows how to do it. And I really don't even think the way he's doing it is in a bad way. Like, he's just like...
No, he's being
It
genuine.
just took time for him to realize, like, what was in front of his face.
But you gotta, like, it's kind of ironic that you're on the guy's side
I know.
and I'm on the girl's side. Because, like, I'm just thinking about the trauma that she had to go through all night long with that shitty party.
Yeah, but now she knows that nothing happened. So it's like...
but the tip still went in.
Oh, give me a break! Come on, that's not even a thing.
Hey, you that's all you need to get somebody pregnant.
It doesn't mean that's what happened. You're just making that up.
I mean, she said it hurt, so he was doing something. I don't know. It's
not like they're going into detail right now. All she knows is what he's telling her, and he's telling her nothing happened.
Yeah. And
she's still just like, I'm insulted.
No, I mean, she's kind of taking it all in now. She's kind of thinking it over. She's not really, having a visceral
He's saying,
reaction.
I don't want to be with anybody else.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, too late.
Well, technically it is too late because she's going to semester at sea or whatever it's called.
That's true.
She's going to school on a boat or whatever that shit is.
That's true.
But I think it's good that, like, in real life, if this was real life, he just would have never said anything and she would have went away and then he would have always wondered what could have been.
But, like, the fact that she's upset, like, I'm just like, I don't get it.
Yeah. It's weird, though, like, everybody else had, like, real houses, and her house seems like it's a set or something. Like, it's, like, totally doesn't look like a real front door. Yeah. Now the next morning, all the married moms and dads, like...
He's all beat up.
Yeah. Like, oh, it's okay. that you cheated because you had a letter. A letter will make you cheat. That'd be pretty fucked up if you could like lose your husband or wife.
I
'cause
mean,
of a letter.
everybody was guilty of it, so nobody
Yeah.
has any right to point any fingers anywhere.
Everybody get caught up in letter main. I feel like this was a look from the 80s that you don't really see anymore. Is a button-up shirt with like no sleeves on it.
Go away.
Yeah, Kelly Preston confronts C. Thomas House saying, "You wrote me these letters," and then he's like, looks at me, and he's like, "I didn't write you these letters." He's like, "I wrote you some way shittier letters." I feel like this outfit though is what Margot Robbie based her Barbie outfit on.
I was gonna say for both of them, like they're both wearing like very bright colors, and like it's funny how like that is like a thing now.
Yeah, I know it is weird. And this is 85. It's not even like early 90s.
Right in the middle of the 80s.
Yeah.
I will say it's interesting to see his pants. Like they're like how he has them folded up.
Yeah.
Now he's comparing it to the letters that he got originally.
Yeah, the original letter. So now he sees that they're the same handwriting. So he realizes that Lori Loughlin wrote the letters to help him. Mm-hmm. And like that's just even more fuel in the fire of like, you know, why he really
realized
loves
she
it.
was always in love with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, she said they're leaving in like 2 minutes.
Yeah, we're leaving in 2 minutes. So this is definitely a you kind of like you don't know what you got till it's gone type movie. Mm-hmm. Like he in plain sight, he had his love. He could have been with her this whole time.
He's so like perturbed. Like he's like no, like when she hates it. Look at this is the runner.
Yeah.
I thought that was him at first, but now it looks like a different person.
Yeah. Like, yeah, it's probably a stunt double there because he's jumping off the roof and shit.
Whee!
But yeah, he did
that one.
He did do the fence jumping.
Oh, look at him. Oh, look at his face. He's so, like, sad.
Now, watching him in this movie and watching how athletic he was, I was like, damn, I wish bro would have starred as Spider-Man back then. He would have been perfect Peter Parker. Yeah, so, like, it's kind of funny, though, because, like, you think Lori Loughlin would be happy to leave, but she's like traumatized sitting in the back of the car.
Because he finally professed his love to her. She's loved him for so long.
Yeah.
And it's like, she just let it go.
Well, I mean, she was leaving already. It wasn't, you know, it's kind of like when somebody waits for like the last 9 months.
He could have caught up.
For 3 years.
Oh, here is the hitcher.
Yeah, here he is hitchhiking. This is very ironic because he would do a horror movie where the guy was killing people on the road.
I like how this guy conveniently comes along.
Yeah, Steve comes by in his convertible. And I feel like convertibles were so prevalent in 80s movies. I mean, granted, they're in California. You would want to have a convertible there. But, like, yeah, like these little two-seater convertibles, they're always in movies back then.
But he really just wants to beat him up.
Yeah, Steve jumps out. He's like, "Oh, you gotta help me, Steve." He's like, "I gotta go get my true love." And he's like, "Oh, you screwed my girlfriend, whatever." And then, like...
What's in his hand?
His keys.
Oh, I thought it was like a knife or something.
No, she's holding, like, a big keychain. So, like, C. Thomas Howell, like, is going to get his ass kicked by this bigger guy, and, like, he just punches him, and then Steve's
he's
like...
so worried he broke his nose.
He's like, "You broke my nose."
Damn, look at this guy.
I'm telling you, he's Spider-Man.
He's like parkour.
Did you see that giant dent he put in the car doing that, though?
No.
There's I can't rewind it, but it's a giant... He put a giant dent right there.
Dang. Crazy.
And then, like, that looks like a different car because it has a different scrape on it.
He was parkour before parkour.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, like, you can kind of tell this is a stunt driver, but it's a good double. But yeah, like he weaves in and out of the traffic going down to San Pedro. But you know, it's kind of like the like every movie back then. I mean, it was a long trope, you know, but every romantic movie always it normally, like, this is a little different because they're going to a harbor. But it usually was always about the girl was getting on a plane and the guy had to run through the airport to catch her and shit.
It was weird. I can't remember the phrase I think it was called School Afloat.
That's what it was School Afloat.
So you see the dent?
I didn't see it there, no. They might have shot this out of sequence, too. Like, the dent part might have happened later.
But, like, yeah, like, That was a weird thing. Like, I'd never heard of that before.
Well, I could see if it was like a cruise ship type thing, but like they get on like this old ass janky fucking sailboat,
and it's pretty small.
Yeah, and there's like 50 kids on it, but it's like so small it doesn't look like anybody could like really live on there.
And they're gonna be there for a whole school year.
A whole school, like yeah. I mean, I said it was a semester, but she did say like senior year. Yeah.
This guy doesn't even know what he's talking about.
Yeah,
he's like, "What did you say?"
Old confused security guard. Yeah. And then he stops at like an actual ship. He's like, "Where's school afloat?" And the guy's like, "Dorcher, Dorcher, Dorcher." He's like the fucker from the Muppets. Like, you thought it was funny because you're like you didn't really hear it clearly. I guess
I thought he was supposed to be Asian.
Yeah, you're like, you don't even look Asian. I was like, no, he's speaking Swedish. He's like, Dorcher, Dorcher, Dorcher. And C. Thomas Howell was like, I don't even know what the fuck you're saying.
He's like, yeah.
No, I was surprised that they jumped in this dirty ass water. I was really like, damn.
I was gonna say, like, I was kind of like, I don't know. The ending of this is weird for me. Like,
see, I think it's actually great.
It was like so unsatisfying.
In what way?
Just because, like, he's like trying to catch up with her. She's already gone.
Yeah.
To me, it's like, it's done, dude. Like, you missed her. Like, too bad, you know? Like, it's like, because it's just, she's too far gone.
I like this here
totally
where
crashed.
He crashes the car into the dumpster, yeah.
But then, like, they start yelling at each other, and, like, it just looks so stupid. The way they're like, meh, meh. Like, it's just, like, they can't hear each other.
He's telling her, I knew you wrote the letters, I love you, don't go, whatever.
And she's just like, what?
Yeah,
what?
the whole thing. For the Long Beach.
It's just like, geez.
I mean, he was too far away.
It just looks so dumb. Like, I don't know. Like, it just...
Yeah.
You missed her, dude. Too late. Movie over.
And then he
I love you.
He does a giant swan dive into the harbor and tries to catch up the boat, and obviously he's not making it, so then she jumps in. And it's like, I mean, I want to call it cliche, but, like, I appreciate the attempt at... Like,
and then the way he looked when he was yelling, he looked weird, and I don't know.
It wasn't very hunky. It wasn't
yeah.
And, like, obviously he had a stunt double because he jumped off a giant thing, but you can tell it's Lori Loughlin. She legit jumps off this boat.
And then he looks like he's, like, suffocating right there. Like, he's like, whoo, like that face he's making. And then
he is crying ugly.
And then she's like, jumps in, and it's just like, oh, yeah.
And then her purse, her clothes, all her school shit is gone.
Yeah, it's weird. And then all of a sudden her hair's dry.
Yeah, they had to do multiple things.
It's just weird. I don't know.
I mean...
And then for some reason it looks like the water is not that deep all of a sudden.
Yeah, it looks like they're standing up when they finally get each other and kiss. And then like this close up,
and then they're like kissing and they're like
drowning.
After they kiss, she like put her mouth in the water, like, oh, that was nasty.
Yeah.
She like wanted to wash her face or something. I don't know. It was just like a really weird and then it's just the credits. It's like, okay.
Yeah, it ends like insanely quickly, like after they jump in the water and kiss.
Yeah.
See, look, Norwegian dock worker.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's Norwegian. I said Swedish, but yeah, he's Norwegian.
Arvid.
Yeah, Arvid.
Malma.
And the old ass guard was Ernie Brown. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I gotta say, like, sometimes you watch movies that, like, you know, you watched as a kid or whatever, and, like, you watch them now, and you're like, yeah, you know, it doesn't really hold up, it's not really good. But I think this movie is just as amazing now as when I first watched it when I was probably 9 or 10 years old.
Is it because there's boobs in it?
No, it's actually, I was actually, because I didn't really remember, like, I knew Kelly Preston did some nudity in movies, but God rest her soul, rest in peace. But,
I know, I think that's part of the reason why it turned, like, why I'm like, ugh, because I'm just kind of like, I don't want to see her like that now, you know? Like, I don't know, because it's...
Well, it's weird, too, because, I don't... No, she was still alive when they released the Blu-ray, because she just died, like, 2 or 3 years ago. But the cover of the Blu-ray is just, like, a picture of her blowing a kiss. But that's, like, not the poster. The poster is this weird, like, animated drawing of C. Thomas Howell with a brick about to hit him in the head that has secret on it or something. It's weird. But
okay.
But yeah, like, I don't know, like, I mean, I guess nobody was technically really a star in this movie when they made it, but like Yeah, I think she was a big, memorable part of this movie from the. I really liked her. She did a movie called Run with Patrick Dempsey, which was like an action movie, which was really good. She did a lot of good movies. Like she was legitimately one of my favorite actresses out there.
But like that's why I was asking if she made any where she played like the nice girl, because it's like, I mean, yeah, she was like she's got a super hot body, so it's like, why can't she play the nice girl and be super hot?
I think
that's why I was asking.
Yeah, like if I'm remembering,
because if she does, I want to watch that.
If I'm remembering, like I think she did. Like I can't really think of any movies where like she was the star. Mm-hmm. She was like that movie The Experts with Travolta, which is where they met. But like she was always like the girlfriend, the wife, whatever. Like but she played like pretty nice like roles for a while. Like the only time I really remember her being kind of like a bitch again was in Jerry Maguire, because and they have like her and Tom have a real steamy sex scene where it's like I don't think you see nipples, but I remember being in the theater and being like, damn, it's like one of those things where like they're pressed up against each other and like the frame kind of just cuts off where her nipple is, but you can see like the top of her boob. You can see how like giant her breasts are, and I was like, damn, like this is some hardcore shit. Like, especially back then, Tom would just, like, hover over women and, like, not really kiss them and shit. I guess Nicole was strict on him then, but, yeah, yeah, she got out, but I know exactly what you mean, because early on, it was just, like, she was basically just, like, the girl that everybody wanted to have sex with, but she was annoying, or she was a bitch, And, I mean, she is very... I would say to some degree, like, and also too, you got to cut somebody some slack if the character's like 17 years old or whatever, not like really a fully formed adult or anything, but like, yeah, I mean, I think she finally got out of that eventually, and she started playing more likable characters. But yeah, it was kind of like that early on, I think, for her.
I mean, now that I think about it, like, I mean, I really only kind of watch like 80s movies, like whatever you show me. So, like, of the ones that we've watched, like, I'm just trying to think, like, there's never been somebody who has, like, the body of Kelly Preston who played, like, the Lori Loughlin role.
No, yeah, you never get a sweet girl with giant knockers. Yeah. Like, it's just, like, because, like...
It kind of sucks, because it's, like...
Yeah.
I mean, why can't they? I would be into that girl, myself.
Yeah, I mean, it's just
because it's like that would be like the perfect, pairing. Like she's hot and she's sweet,
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Like, why wouldn't any guy during that time want to be into that? Like, that's weird.
I mean, I don't think it was really so much like what guys did or didn't like. Like, I think everybody, wanted whatever. But I think it's just more like the what do you call it? The preconceived notions that the movie producers probably had. Just being like
voluptuous girls just got stereotyped as being like,
well, it's just
slutty.
not yeah. I mean, maybe, but it's like you could like they probably thought like a woman who looks like this could only like everybody's just going to be thinking sex object. Like they don't want to see that.
Not me. I want to see a sweet one.
Yeah, but I mean, like, that's one thing I will say is things were not nearly as nuanced in films back then as they were now. Like, they were very... Like, that was kind of the fun of 80s movies, is they were kind of like... I mean, there was, like, the crass ones and shit, but they were just more overt and, like, whatever they were. Like, whatever genre they were, horror or whatever, like, it was just more... Where everything now tries to be a little more subtle and thoughtful. Like, movies were just, like... not afraid to just be surface level entertainment back then. Pop culture, popcorn entertainment kind of thing.
But yeah, I think that was also like that. Honestly, was kind of the first thing I thought of like during that scene when they were like making out in the car. It was kind of a thing of like, I don't want to see her like this. Like it was that kind of thing
because she was,
yeah, that
she was a mom and everything.
Well, like I kind of I really honestly can't say that I've seen her in anything that I know of or that I remember, but I just like my impression of her was that she was just like a sweet lady. Yeah,
that's how she was in real life.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. Like as a normal person. So like when I got to that, like I mean already she was playing an unlikable character, Yeah. Just before that, but like when I got to that, I was just kind of like, ugh. Like it just, I don't know. I just didn't want to see her like that. Like it just was weird.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting. I mean, obviously she was probably just doing whatever she had to like, have a career and everything and work.
Yeah.
But I think as a guy, like as an actor, I think you want to play like the mean characters more. Like it's more fun for a guy. But I'm curious if it's like that for a woman, or if you're just like, fuck, I'm just playing some bitch again.
That's what I was wondering. That's why I was asking about that, because it's like that kind of sucks. That like, because I mean, if that was the case, then like, yeah, technically, what all the women are complaining about now, like. Yeah. They have a reason to complain, because that would suck. Like if somebody like her, who like did have like that bodacious bod, like maybe she wanted to be a serious actor, like, but all she ever got was like bitchy slut roles, like,
I mean,
sucks.
She definitely she was in her teens, if not like very early 20s when she made this, but I'd say by the time she was in her early 30s, she had turned it around and was doing more, And
also because once you're older, you're not doing movies like that anymore.
You're not doing teen titty flicks anymore. But I would say in like in terms of like only being seen as like in a sexual way or whatever. Like I think entertainment was really going away from that, and then like they just unleashed TikTok, and all of a sudden like the bouncing was so out of control. And like
that's all women are now.
Yeah, like that's why we see, like, not to go off on a tangent, I want to wrap up here soon, but not to go off on a tangent, but that's why we see a 53-year-old like Jennifer Lopez shaking every inch she has that she can. So it's kind of like
that's literally why
without going down some kind of weird side trap, like whoever invented TikTok, it was TikTok. And after that it bled over in other things, but like I never seen literally somebody make a video just to show them bouncing until TikTok. Yeah. And I remember before TikTok went quote unquote respectable and had commercials on TV, you would see like not on Facebook, but it was on internet websites, it'd be like TikTok, seriously short videos, and everybody's like, yeah, they make dance videos on TikTok. And they would show you on the ad just some girl bouncing up and down, and I was like, that's not dancing. Yeah. Like, I don't know what the fuck that shit is, but yeah.
Okay, so I'm issuing you a challenge.
Let's see.
I want you to find a movie where the lead girl is a sweet girl and she's hot. Not right now. You're not going to be able to find it this second. I just mean for the future.
For the future,
I'm issuing this challenge to you.
Yeah. But you mean like she has to be like likable and stuff?
Yeah, she has to be a hot Lori Loughlin. I mean, not like Lori Loughlin isn't pretty in this.
Yeah,
but she's got to be
gorgeous,
a sweet Kelly Preston.
Yeah,
her character.
But she has to have like giant breasts.
She's got to be hot. Yeah, like how Kelly Preston was. Like the character that's normally like the hot girl that all the guys want in the movie, but is like annoying.
Yeah.
You gotta find me a movie where she's not the annoying girl, she's the lead sweet girl.
I can't think of any particular movie because that's pretty impossible. But
that's why it's a challenge.
I think the closest we're gonna come, and I guess like I don't know, it might not count because it might be like later or whatever. But I would say like the only person I could think of that maybe like got away with that and played that is like, I'm thinking maybe Diane Lane might have done it.
Yeah.
Because Diane Lane started really young too in her teens. Like she started around the time Kelly Preston did, and it's like,
when you said that, I thought of Diane Keaton.
Oh no!
I was like, wait, what? That's when my face was like, what?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, like, but
well. I'm challenging you.
I don't know. It's gonna be hard. I'll work on it. But yeah, so I mean that's it for Secret Admirer. Like I really hope some low key OG Secret Admirer fans come out of the woodwork like me, because I loved this movie as a kid, and I think probably what attracted to me as a kid besides the sex, because I remember thinking this movie was like, I always remember it as being like really dirty, like, and it.
Well, and it's funny because it's actually pretty tame.
Yeah, it is. And, like, for some reason, because, like, when he, quote-unquote, has sex with her, like, not really, but, like, I always remember, like, feeling like like conflicted as a kid because it was like, well, there's no going back from that. Like he can't be with the other girl now because like he had sex, but like
you didn't know what was
I didn't
happening.
realize that like he didn't really have sex. Like he tried to and he failed. And
well, it looks very
yeah, and also too like you could see her chest and shit. So like as a kid, you think that's like
you think they were doing it.
Yeah. Like, I always thought it, like, and especially the way, like, that she's, like, you know, he's all frustrated, and he's like, oh, fuck this shit, whatever. And then she's like, tell everybody you had a great time, and they walked out. Like, I always thought, like, they came out of it, like, bragging, like, yeah, like, this was so good. But, like, when you watch it, it's not even really like that.
Yeah.
But, like, other than that, like, I think what just attracted me was, like, how you said, like, everybody's driving crazy, and then they had that fight. The parents were, like, all the food's flying everywhere and shit.
It was pretty zany.
It was, like, very live-action, cartoonish.
Yeah.
Like, it's just fun. I think that's really what, you know... And plus, like I love C. Thomas Howell as a kid, because he was like in all my favorite movies at the time. So yeah, like I hope some OG old guys like me who watch this on cable over and over, I hope they enjoy this episode. And you know, apologies to all the women for a non-romantic Valentine's Day movie, but it is what it is, you know.
I don't think you ever choose romantic ones.
Okay. First of all, My Demon Lover, Date with an Angel, Pretty in Pink. It's funny too because like when I bust out like the all-time 80s panty droppers female movies and I make you watch them, you're always like and like meanwhile women are like crying and like professing their love for these movies for like decades. Like even Pretty in Pink, you're just like whatever.
Yeah, it's weird. Like I don't know, I don't have the same reactions like because I know, you know, a lot of these movies are legendary, so to speak, you know. And it's just like I just don't react to them like well. Like I don't know, like I feel like they just make the girl too like sad and like not like I want her to be annoying or anything, but like she put like the girls in these movies, they put up with way too much for me to like I don't know, for me to enjoy it. Like I think is really what it is.
Yeah.
Oddly enough, like I think these mostly like are made for guys.
Yeah.
Like even though they're
for like horny teen guys kind of.
I guess. I mean,
okay, we just covered Aspen Extreme, which there was a lot of romance in that film too. I wouldn't say it was the main central theme the way this was, but
no, it was not.
Do you think the way the love story was handled in Aspen Extreme was similar, where it was just geared more towards guys?
I wouldn't say that necessarily because Terry Polo's character in that movie was very strong.
Yeah.
She was really like, I am putting up with your bullshit. Like, you know, but, you know, she wasn't like bitchy. She was
as soon as she saw the guy being a gigolo, she called him out on it.
Yeah. But, like, you still had sympathy for her because she was nice and sweet.
Yeah.
You know, like, that I was okay with. Like, that was not easy to watch, but it was more enjoyable to like watch that because at least she was standing up for herself.
Yeah.
Whereas this one was like, or a lot of these, not just this one specifically, but a lot of them, like, they're just like standing by, watching the guy be in love with somebody else. And this one, she was helping the guy be in love with somebody else, and it was just like, what are you doing? Like,
but that's why I think
it's hard to watch.
That's why I think it was inspired by Cyrano de Bergerac. No, seriously, because
I thought you were gonna say Vaso de Papel.
No, I haven't seen Paper Cups yet. I want to now though. But in that one, he's like, I'll help the dumb guy get the girl, but the guy is secretly in love with the girl.
I've never watched that, so I don't know. I don't know about. I mean, I've heard that name, but I don't know the story of it.
And then they remade it as Roxanne or whatever it was called with Steve Martin like a couple years after this. So and then we can't forget the greatest adaptation of all time was just 2 years ago when Peter Dinklage played the role.
Yeah.
But anyway, so, like, I mean, I just hope you guys have a good time on Valentine's Day, watch a fun movie like this, or actually watch an actual real sweet movie with your sweetie.
Watch a Hallmark movie.
Yeah, watch a Hallmark.
I don't know, because sometimes those are not very fun either.
No, you need to watch with your... you need to watch 50 Shades of Grey.
Oh, God.
And watch all that tying up and ass whipping.
No, don't watch that either.
What about Twilight? Would that be a Valentine's Day movie? Or is it too dark and conflicted for Valentine's Day?
Too conflicted.
Yeah.
I mean, the first one, I guess Twilight is okay.
So since I picked Secret Admirer for Valentine's Day, what would you actually recommend people watch on Valentine's Day?
I don't know. That's a loaded question. I'd have to think about that.
Yeah, Titanic.
No, that's sad.
Yeah, but people said you get over the 800 people dying in the freezing water when you think of the beautiful love that was spread over 36 hours between Kate and Leo.
That movie's sad.
Yeah.
You give them Secret Admirer.
Your Secret Admirer. All right, so that's it, guys. I hope you have a great Valentine's Day with your loved one, or even by yourself. Don't get low. Don't be like Phoebe Cates and Gremlins when Christmas comes along. Don't get depressed. It's okay.
It just means someday your love is gonna come soon.
Ladies, you can buy your own flowers and enjoy them. It's okay. Guys, you can go buy those Reese cup hearts and eat them yourself. It's okay.
I like buying flowers.
Yeah, you do?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So, yeah, everybody, thanks a lot. We'll see you back here in the movie graveyard.